Okay, and scene.
Action.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Flex in the City. I am Gada.
And I am Lisa, and this is episode 16? I hope so.
I hope so. We'll find out.
Here's another
We'll
episode.
edit it if it's not episode 16. At some point, we are going to have to stop saying what episode it is, because when we get to like 300, are we really going to say, welcome to episode 300?
Yeah, we'll just kind of put it there and just be like, read it, because we don't know where we're at. We're just running through these.
Oh,
but welcome, guys.
Welcome back.
How are you?
I am good. How has your week been going?
It's been okay. I have to think about it for a second. No, it's been an okay week, actually. It's been good. Back to regular training again. Back to my stinky Olympic lifting class, because whoever's responsible for the smell returned.
Oh gosh.
This week.
Well, we know it's not you.
And now I know
who it is. And you know who it is.
And now I know who it is.
So now you know.
Yeah. I don't know how to deal.
Sadly, to not be in that.
I can't not though, because the space is limited. So I don't know how to,
show up late. The problem is, if you show up early,
I could be
he probably is like, oh, I'm gonna stand next to her. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. I need to be away from where he is. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. I need to let him commit to a location, and then I go elsewhere. Yeah. That might be the only way to do it. But yeah, it was strong and in full effect.
Yeah, I finally got to work out yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Because I've been out of I've been sick, and I hate saying I'm sick, but there was 2 weeks ago, it started with like throat infection, and then last week I was semi-okay, but I lost my voice.
Yeah, I remember.
And then over the weekend, I was in bed the entire weekend. It just hit me again.
Shit. Second wave.
Like a second wave.
I'm telling you, it might be what we had, because we thought that we were all better, and then it was like 1 or 2 days, and then remember? And then I was like, I don't even think
everybody. Like, I even know people who've been sick for like 4 weeks now. It's
apparently, there is like a 300% spike in COVID infections in Munich.
Post
Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be that. In which case, welcome. Because we've all had it.
Alles gut. The Germans say.
Yeah, everyone has it.
All good.
Yeah. So
everyone has it. Just, join the party. It's like someone has chicken pox. Like, you're just going to have a chicken pox party and have all your kids get, like, why?
It's actually better, because then we used to do that, remember? You used to have, like, your kid that doesn't have it just go and get exposed to it so they could get it and get it out of the system, because it's much more mild when you're a kid. So you want to get it.
Yeah.
And then it's out of the way. Yeah. So, no fun.
Gosh.
Oh, one thing about this past week is, so one of the days I couldn't get to the gym because I was late. And I was like, I really need to do something. Like, I don't want to miss a day, because I've just gotten back into the swing of things. So I did a cardio Taibo.
I saw that.
Oh my God,
but you were like dripping sweat.
It was that. Listen, we can do it one time, because everyone in the household was laughing at me, and they were like, what are you doing?
I loved Taibo.
It is legit, and that's the cardio one. So I did that, which is an hour, and then I did cardio, like max blast something for 25 minutes after. Okay. So it was like almost an hour and a half of training. And and it wasn't like, you do the punches and the stuff like that, but then with the cardio one, he's like, now double time cardio. You're doing this. And like, so imagine like doing a jump kick with a squat, a squat.
I remember those.
So good. So
good.
Did you find it
on YouTube? Like a free
class?
Yeah,
it's just on YouTube. Yeah, it's like saved in my favorites. So like he has heaps of them just free on YouTube. So yeah. So I had a lot of fun with that. It was a lot of nostalgia. And some of the movements, I remember doing it and being like, oh, this is too easy. Yeah. Like I used to do it twice back in the day. Damn. I got through it, and
it was like 3 rounds we used to do. I think also it wasn't like.
And then sometimes he loses count. Have you noticed? Sometimes he'll be talking, and he's like, 1 more round, and then they're all counting, and then he's like, reach into your deeper core and really harness your motivation. And I'm like, stop talking, because we're doing like 4 rounds. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. So good though. I loved it. So I'm gonna try and incorporate that twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Even just to like move and like do the sort of the waist and the shoulder movement, like opened up back and like everything so well. And I was like, this is a nice little.
But I also know from friends who are very much into kickboxing. I have a friend who is a trainer, and she's also now mobility trainer. So she she did a lot of kickboxing in her day, and now she does a lot more focus on mobility and like exercising like the little teeny tiny muscles in the joints in between. Yeah. And she was telling me that those who do kickboxing are very much closed up here because you're always in this like closed tent like stance, and then you have to everything has to come back to that. Yeah. It's you say it opened you up from here.
Yeah, because he does a lot of and he does such really good stretches, like even at the beginning. Yeah. And then you're doing those, but you're also doing like punches to the side, and you're doing like as you're doing your kicks, you're doing like reaching out, and so it does open and sort of give you an awareness of parts of your body that you wouldn't ordinarily like awaken when you go like to a weight training class or something like that. So I really like it. For me, all of the tension is like in my back and waist and stuff like that, because all of that has to be so like stiff, especially for lifting. That it felt really nice to do that. And the kicks, man, I haven't kicked my legs that high in a long time. And then he's like, and at one point you're holding your leg up and you're just kicking it like this.
I hated that.
So bad, but so good. I was like, man, I haven't done this in a long time.
But I love it. I think it's such a good energy releaser too. Like when I would go to the gym, when I was still signed up at the gym, I would do like 10-15 minutes on the crazy round treadmill that I told you about, and then I would get off and they had a punching bag right next to it, and I would be kicking it like crazy.
Nice.
Oh man, so good. And like just with the music on and like just
I was gonna say
the angry music, and I'm just punching it,
and especially when it connects.
And it's so loud, and of course like among the Germans, like they're all exercising so quietly, and then they hear this like boom, boom.
So good. I love it. Kickboxing is amazing. I did it so much just before I moved to Dubai with a coach of mine there who's amazing. He's spectacular. I love that. He's the one I said, that was one of his workouts. That workout that I sent to you, that was one of...
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, he writes those workouts, but he's also like a former professional boxer. So I used to do... And he'd be like, so this one we used to do for like 3 minutes nonstop. And I do like one round, and I'd be like, I need a break.
But I've told you that I hate repeats, right?
Like, I do the same thing.
I don't do repeats. Like any workout, even now on YouTube when I look for home workouts, like I always make sure it says no repeat on it.
Lovely.
I'm happy to work out the same muscle because that's the point of the repeat is that you're
exhausting.
But it needs to be a different exercise, otherwise I get bored. So,
I'm the same. Or it can be a sequence of maybe like 8 to 10 movements, and then we do it twice.
No,
you can't even do
even
that.
Like
you're like when
especially if it was like a torturous move, you're gonna get through those 8, and psychologically that move is coming back. Like I
be done with. Like, I hate it, but I enjoy it because it also kind of
pushes you
that the mental wherewithal to be like I have to like do it again. Okay. But like CrossFit is terrible. There was one week last Friday I think I wanted to go, and I was like, because I missed and I did Taekwondo, I was like, I'll go on Friday, and all I saw was blah 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 27 rounds of I just closed. I don't even need to see what it is. 27 rounds of anything except inhaling and exhaling.
No one needs to be doing that. Sorry.
No, that's not happening. I closed it down and I said, nah.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was the week that was. And it's gotten to winter. Yeah. Evidently. Apparently, fall decided that it was not going to grace us with its presence.
It's 10 degrees. Did I tell you it was 10 degrees when I came in?
What is it right now?
Let me tell you. It is in Munich 15 degrees. It's going up. It's supposed to be 19, but when I came, and I was in my little jacket and you saw my scarf,
and it's not a little jacket. It's like a proper.
It's not a
winter.
little jacket,
Yeah.
but you know, like any jacket, when the sleeves are not full sleeves, I call it a little jacket because you want full coverage in winter.
It hits different. It hits different when the sleeves.
It's the same with the socks. Like now I'm wearing like long socks, but when you wear these tiny ankle socks, like
forget about it.
No, forget
it. It does hit different. Like this versus this. Like this is about 20 degrees warmer already.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I feel
So
you. I don't know what it is.
It was chilly, but you know, it's October. Halloween is around the corner. I guess it's like fitting with the whole.
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything for Halloween?
I mean, the kids always do trick or treating
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood,
how fun!
But here you'll see it. Like if people have pumpkins set up,
then
you know you can trick or treat.
Oh,
you can actually go and ask for it.
We might do that.
Or you
then.
just come to my area because my area is actual houses. Like I don't know how it works with.
Yeah, like buildings. Because then you have to like buzz and people be like, "What do you want?"
What do you want?
What do you want? I don't know. Also, I don't like my neighbors.
I'll ask the woman that I told you about earlier.
Yeah.
Like what because she I think lives in the city and she's super into Halloween. I can ask her.
The American one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course she'd be super into it. Yeah.
The Ami.
We might do it in our building actually because I think everyone has kids except for the very top floor. Yeah, we all have like little kids, so I might like just put a sign up and be like, "Hey guys, should we have a little?"
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, and then I don't have to leave.
So of course, Matt, I am gonna ask you some
quick fire
questions
queries
before we get into our topic today.
Okie dokie.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Born ready. Stay ready.
Always ready. Dance in the rain or sing on a crowded bus?
You know, the first thing I thought about when you said dance in the rain I was like, it depends on my hair situation. Is it a wig? Is it like, do I have an umbrella? Or I have to be exposed
You don't have your wig on. You don't have your wig.
You don't have your wig.
And there's no umbrella.
Actually, I have danced in the rain. Am I on the way to do my hair?
You're complicating it.
Rain is a huge factor for women of color.
I know.
If I'm
you're right.
getting my hair done within 24 hours, I will pick that.
Okay.
Because also, I think about the buses here, and I'm like, I don't even want to get on them, let alone sing on it.
So you're on your way to your hair appointment.
Yeah.
You'll sing in the rain.
Dance
in the rain.
I'll dance in the rain.
Okay. Eat spaghetti with your hands or soup with chopsticks? I don't even know how that would work. Like, and I'm talking like soup, like just brough. Like there's no like.
I was gonna say like if there's
up.
wonton and stuff in there, you use chopsticks anyway. Can I pick the bowl up?
No.
Then the first one. What was the first one?
Eat spaghetti with your hands. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
We eat with our hands anyway.
I was gonna say I do that anyway because when the kids drop spaghetti all over the place, I pick it up.
But culturally too, like our food we eat with our hands. I mean, we also use utensils, but we also eat with our hands.
Tastes better.
Okay, have a constant laugh track following you around or dramatic background music. Just picture like live on like when the live audience or dun, dun, dun.
If it's a great classical piece that is dramatic or like a Hans Zimmer sort of song, I will have that following me around.
I think I'd want the laugh track. Because laughing is contagious. So I think even if I'm like in a shit mood, if I hear like...
But if you're in a serious environment and then you just start laughing because
you got a funeral or something, like... Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Wear your clothes backward for a week or only talk in rhyme for a month. Which would you rather?
Talk in rhyme for a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you do that?
100%. We do that sometimes in the house, actually, with Dante, Like, he'll say something, and then, like, we have to make it a conversation, but it has to rhyme.
That's
like,
so
he'll be like, well, you know, I didn't get the glass, and I'll be like...
Don't be such an ass.
That's literally what my mind was like, well, maybe you need a class. Like, and then we all have to just keep it going, and you can't repeat the same word.
Oh,
so I would do that.
You guys are so creative. I love it. That's like more than the 2 words that I got from my kids this week, but okay.
Oh, I'm not telling you about the other stuff that went on, though.
My kid literally was breaking the house yesterday because we downloaded a new app to our phones and to their phones where we literally block them out of their phones at any time. Like,
tell me.
Like my husband just has to press a button and it literally shuts down their phone. And he was using his phone, I guess, and then it went completely blank. And, and he was just like slamming the doors and, kicking things.
And you guys are just there like,
and I'm like, honey, are you gay? Can I do anything for you?
That's a good one.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm so prepared for the teenage years because all of this information that you have, I'm just going to be...
But you're already like 10 steps ahead because your kid doesn't even have a phone.
He has a phone, but it has no internet on it.
Yeah. Like my kids have had them since they were younger. You get what I mean?
So it's hard to...
And your kid doesn't do any gaming.
No.
So maybe that's why you're not bringing him to my house. I invited her several times.
He will never leave.
I think that's why she's not bringing, because as soon as he enters the house, they're going to be like, hey, you want to play FIFA?
And I will be like, he's your child now. Because he will... I will never
so sad.
Like, we got his birthday and Christmas list. He wrote it the other day. And, he writes all this stuff. Like, he's like, this book, the next...
Does he still believe in Santa?
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God, I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
Remind me.
Yeah.
Say Santa, I will tell you.
Okay.
And he wrote his list for his birthday presents and his Christmas because we always get it early because we like to separate. And then it's a whole page, and at the bottom, in tiny writing, he goes, P.S. PS5.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Every year since that thing came out, he's asked for one.
I mean,
if you save up your money, you can have it.
Doesn't Michael also game?
No.
He's not into it.
100%.
Yeah, my husband's not into it
Even
either.
back in the time when people played computer games on the CPUs, he was.
Khalid also wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I'm more into it than Khalid is.
Yeah.
If you give me a Super Nintendo right now,
oh my God, Super Nintendo,
I would be addicted. You would not be able to get me off of it.
Same. Mario Kart.
Over.
Mortal Kombat.
Super Mario, anything all of that.
Yeah. Street Fighter is Nintendo, I think. Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
All right.
Do you have those at your house? I could come over right now after this.
No, I don't. I want to get one. I think I'm gonna get one.
The Super Nintendo 64?
Because they have them now. They're super tiny, and all the games are built into it.
Stop.
Yeah, it's like a teeny tiny device. You can find it at Müller.
Do you remember how big it used to be?
It was big, and even the things were like...
You blow... Why were we all doing this? Who said blow on it?
Some genius said blow on it, and the rest of the world blew on it.
We all do it. We all did it. That's so funny how we were all in...
Oh my God.
We're all in different parts of the world blowing on our cartridges.
Okay.
Weird.
All right. We digress.
Yes, a little bit.
Be a superhero with an embarrassing power or a villain with an amazing wardrobe.
So basically, the superhero or myself.
There you go.
I think we both know.
Okay,
what
got
I
it.
Choose.
Give up coffee forever or only drink lukewarm coffee for the rest of your life. Which is what we do.
I was gonna say, listen,
do
right now we're doing it right now. Enjoy your lukewarm.
Lipstick.
Yeah, both of us. It's always lukewarm because you never get a chance to finish a full cup of coffee at this stage of life. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Communicate only through emojis or only through interpretive dance.
Oh my God, emojis. Misinterpretive dance is what it should be called because I'm I don't know what you're communicating.
Wear socks on your hands for a year or shoes on the wrong feet for a month.
Living in Germany, I could do socks on my hands for a year. It's like mittens.
Exactly.
I just play it off.
Have unlimited time or unlimited money, but you can't use either for yourself.
So unlimited money for other people.
Yeah, or
no
time.
Oh, but I can't use the time for myself either.
No.
So I'd give my kids unlimited time and money or money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. Time.
Okay,
Time for sure.
I think I know this. I don't know this. No, I think I do. You don't like water, right?
You don't like water!
Like, did you say once you don't like boats?
I don't like small boats.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So live in a
Give me a
treehouse.
yacht. And I'm okay.
Yacht.
I'm okay.
Where's my yacht?
Yeah, I'm okay with like big boats that don't like do this.
Okay, so how about live in a treehouse or on a houseboat for the next 5 years? You could do
if the houseboat is like a yacht and like has bedrooms, yeah. There's houseboats bigger than our apartment.
It doesn't say, it just says houseboat.
Exactly. So if it is not precise, I can import facts.
Oh my
houseboat.
gosh.
I can do
love
houseboat.
it.
And it can be moored where there's no waves.
Oh God, you make me laugh. So we spent a little bit of time talking about your workout routine, my workout routine.
Santa, hold on.
Santa. Oh, okay. Santa.
As Christmas approaches, we're trying to see what kind of, like, how we can merge our cultures for different things for Christmas. Because, Germans have a lot of cultural traditions for Christmas that are different from, like, our quintessential Santa or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have, like, is it St. Nicolaus?
Yeah.
So they have this guy, it's basically Santa, but don't say that to a German. A guy in a red outfit, but his hat is kind of pointed, and he has a white dress and like a red like jacket thingy.
Yeah.
And his hat is pointed. So I was speaking with my partner and we were like, all right, well, should he dress up as like Nicolaus for Christmas? Now this Nicolaus character also has a friend. So you know how you have naughty or nice?
Yeah.
And if you're bad, you don't get presents. So their version of that in Germany is some guy, I forget his name. You might remember. The guy who comes with the bag.
Krampus?
Krampus.
Yeah. He's like super scary with like horns.
Is the guy.
Have you been to the festival that happens on the streets yet?
No.
There's like a thing and everyone dresses, they're like people that dress up in this like scary. Like scary.
I think I've seen pictures of it.
Like and they do like a march through this, like through Marienplatz area.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
And if you stand like in like close to where the march is, like they'll actually like beat, like they have like these things with them and they'll actually like hit you. Some of them are like just like love taps, but others I've seen they look pretty hard when they when they hit you with it.
Someone's getting sued.
I've only seen it from a distance, but I always like stand far away. Like
that would be me.
Way in the back.
Yeah. Far back enough.
And I'm pretty sure that's around Christmas time. I'm pretty sure. But I could be wrong.
I think you might be right.
We can do a fact check.
But that Krampus character is basically a guy who comes by, and if you're naughty, they tell your kids that he carries a bag, like a burlap bag, and he basically will kidnap the children that are naughty. Yeah. That's the Christmas tradition.
Spirit.
Right. So, not you won't get presents, you're going to get kidnapped by this demon.
Oh my God.
So I was like, we're not doing that part, but we can do the St. Nicolaus part, I guess.
Yeah.
So when we're looking for outfits, we Googled it. My partner sent me a photo of one of the outfits. And I was like,
I feel like I know where this is going.
Huh. Basically, it's like a kind of like a Pope's hat, but like a bit more pointed, and then the outfit, and then like a white beard. And I said, this guy looks like, and this might be redundant, but he looks like a white supremacist Pope. First thing that came to mind.
I knew that's where it was going.
Literally. And I'll see if we can figure out how to put the photo up here that was sent, because I'm sure not alone. And then he was like, what do you mean? It's St. Nicholas. And then I said, literally, this is the outfit that the Grand Poobah of the KKK wear. He's like, it's not a white hood. So I said, and I went to Google. My search terms are fucked for life now. And I was like, different colored outfits for KKK members. Yes. And it came up with a whole array, even some of these outfits that are in museums. And there was literally one that was red and white with the pointed red hat.
You're kidding.
So I just cropped that one
and
sent it to him and said, And he was like, God damn it! Fucking racist!
He's a racist?
Yeah, he was
Saint Nicholas.
like, what? And he was like,
send me Krampus instead, please.
No,
like,
I know, like that
at
guy.
least we know what
At least
he's about.
What you see is what you get with that guy.
Exactly.
He's got his bag and nothing else, right? So he was like, all right, so we're not doing that. I was like, I'm glad we agree.
Just get the pants and the jacket, please.
I was like, we can just make up our own tradition.
Yeah.
I'm like, the kids are getting presents. I don't think like they need anything else. But yeah, that's not gonna be an option.
Oh my god. We definitely should have then, side note, a session where we talk about merging our cultures with this culture.
Yes. Because
as we're getting closer to
the
Thanksgiving
season.
and Christmas and New Year's and all that, like I think that would be a good.
I mean, culturally,
tell us, would that be a good session or not? Like you can tell us.
We don't culturally have any because we don't have Christmas in my culture traditionally, but obviously because of the Western influence, we have Santa and all of that.
Yeah.
Growing up, but my parents when we were little were like, we're not doing all that. Like,
But do you do trees and all that?
yeah, we did trees, and they're like, I guess we'll put presents underneath, but literally we saw them putting the presents underneath. We're not hiding shit.
Like 5 minutes before you're about to open it. Okay. All right, children.
Yeah, they were just like, you know what it is. I only saw my parents kind of adopt the Christmas thing when Dante was little. They were like, oh yeah, Santa, and I was like,
what about me?
What? Yeah, and even with the Tooth Fairy, like, I mean, they tried that one a lot, but I would always catch like my mom when she's like taking the tooth out, and I'll be like, Mommy, she'd be like, yeah, it's me, and she'd just put the money under there and go back to sleep.
Oh my god,
the effort level was awful.
Oh my god. I swear we could talk so much about that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we definitely need to do something. And that's why I was like, because we're merging two cultures and obviously weeding out some parts of the cultures, like we can just kind of create whatever we want Christmas to be for our kids. So I think that's what we're gonna try and do this year, because the baby is old enough that he can enjoy it this year. So we'll see what we'll do. I think we'll definitely have a tree though. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think where this is.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Is
I was literally just looking.
Yeah. That's a good spot for it too. Yeah. What do you guys do?
So my mother-in-law is German, so we obviously took on traditions with that.
Yeah.
I grew up obviously in a Muslim household. There was no trees. I think I've told you, like, Christmas time, the house was like black, like
the rest is
like coming up the hill to our house, like it was like lights, darkness. Don't go there. And we had like a whole forest behind us, so it literally looked like a
real
like creepy, haunted. Like don't
you guys
go
were
near
set for Halloween.
Don't go near the Muslims, okay?
Oh,
like,
right. Oh my god, that's so funny.
So I always told my mom, I was like, when I get older and I have kids, we're gonna have a tree. You know,
big beautiful Christmases.
Beautiful, like. So yeah, so we put up a tree. And that was also very important for my mother-in-law, so we'd always have a tree.
Yeah. And they go all out with the trees here, because they have like the real trees.
They do real trees. Like I guarantee you, you're gonna have a real tree,
listen,
not a fake one.
We had a fake one in Dubai, and Michael was like, "I've never seen this before."
Yeah.
And it had fake snow on it. He was upset. He's like, "What is this?"
We have a
real
fake
trees.
one.
Yes, and real candles.
Yeah.
I was like, "So we're not burning down the house." But yes, we'll have the real tree.
Yeah, you'll have a real tree. I always say I want to get a real tree, but I mean, I also feel bad cutting down the tree. So
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so we put up a tree. The older kids have figured out that Santa Claus doesn't exist.
They figured it out.
And I've told them, don't ruin it for your little brother, otherwise you don't get any gifts. Like, honest to God.
Nice.
There's 0 gifts if you ruin it.
Which actually makes sense. Ruin it.
So I'm like, the spirit is up.
Yeah.
Everybody is,
like excited. Yay, Santa's coming.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I have also gotten to the point where I kind of don't want to do the whole Santa thing anymore, because my kids, at least until they found out, their expectations were ridiculous. Like, I want a PlayStation. We're like, no, Santa has a budget. Like, we each
Parents
give Santa the money, and then he like goes and he
sees what he can do with it.
But I thought he just makes toys and he has an endless amount of toys. Yeah, but we like
there's so many holes in the story.
And I looked at my husband and I was like, and his sister, bless her, she's so creative with the answers. So she was always quick on her feet to answer, and she kept it going for so long. And I'm like. I look at her and I'm like, man, I can't keep this shit up anymore. Like, it's too much. No. And then, how do you explain, like, the kids in Gaza who don't get anything, and then here you are, like,
why is he skipping over them?
So I was just like, okay. I want to keep it real. Like, this shit's not working for me anymore. I want the tree.
Yeah.
I want the, like, vibe that comes with it, because I never got to experience that, even though...
I do like the
I
vibe.
lived among, among those that did celebrate, but I never got to like
in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vibe is really nice, especially when it's like snowy and cold. Like
it doesn't snow here during
it usually doesn't. It's too warm nowadays. Yeah. But when it's cold and just kind of
cozy.
And you're in the house and
We put a fireplace on the TV.
Oh my god! That's great. I wasn't gonna do that.
Like anytime we have people coming over in the winter, you will have to come over at some point, and your child will play FIFA.
Play FIFA. Listen.
But we have a fireplace going, and it's crackling and everything.
Oh, does it make the sound?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Is it an app?
It's on YouTube, I think. Or
Spotify. Oh, yeah, it would be, right?
YouTube.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so cute.
I'll figure out which, there's like a specific one that you can pick.
I just got cozy just thinking about it.
To look, so.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice. That's very cute.
Yeah.
No, that's nice. That's nice. Do you cook the whole Christmas dinner?
We do. The last 2 years we have been in Jordan, so I haven't done, but my sister-in-law always does like a leg of lamb and all the like sides and fixes. And I'm very big on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
But with everything that's happening politically, like I will do the turkey and stuff, but I'm not calling it Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
like, just turkey dinner.
Just turkey dinner. Yeah.
I'm, so that's where, but like that, this whole time of year is like my favorite time of year.
It's so nice. It is actually really nice. Yeah. It's so festive. Aww.
Yeah. So should we get into
Christmas
it now?
is not the topic of the day though, so. And completely unrelated.
That could be in our title. Alongside.
This is not a Christmas episode.
Okay.
What are we talking about today?
I think what we mentioned earlier at the very beginning, when we were talking about your, like, how your workouts and everything, I think that's very, like, a good segue into what we want to talk about, which is, in our 40s, how we can age gracefully or healthy aging, like how to stay fit and active in our 40s. And I think that's such an important topic for us as women. I mean, if there's any men that are also watching, I think it's just important to be aware of how our bodies are changing as we get older. And that just because our bodies are changing doesn't mean that we're supposed to slow down and like succumb to this, different time in our lives. I think it's just more of a adapting and learning that you can still be as strong and as fit as you were in your 20s, but it's just in a different type of way.
Exactly right.
So like, I'm sure, like you tell me your stories all the time of how much you are lifting, right? When like is there a difference in your strength from your 20s to now? And compare it to how you are up here mentally. Like, which one are you kind of like?
So what I always say is I wish I'd started weight training, like seriously weight training, when I was in my late teens, early 20s.
Because I thought you started, when did you start? Like
CrossFit.
At university, weren't you going to the gym and like actually like lifting weights?
Like once a semester. And I go to the gym to do cardio. That was it.
That's the problem. That shit was free, right? Going to the gym.
It was free.
So
like, the gym was so good. Do you remember the gym?
The gym was legit.
So good. And it was like around the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
But there was no accountability. Like, it was free. It was not free.
Like,
It was
I'm not paid.
included in
Yeah,
our
it was
tuition.
included. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't need to go all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's cold. It's Connecticut, so I'm not going down there. It was bad enough walking to class. I would walk to the gym.
Yeah. So
So
you
I
didn't
wasn't
start
really.
in your 20s.
I did weight train, but I never did anything heavy. I never did. And one of the myths actually that I think we'll also touch on and discuss is this idea that weight training will make you bulky or manly or. And I think I had that sort of mentality in my mind. And I was like, I just want to like stay like skinny and slim and feminine.
Yeah.
So it was all just about cardio and like light weights, things like that. And prior to that, I was just doing sport. So I never really had to generate my own workout.
Yeah.
And really only started CrossFit and learning and reading about fitness and the benefits of weight training after I had Dante. So that was in my 30s. I was 31. That's when I really started seriously. Yeah, seriously, not just training, but also wanting to educate myself a bit more. But because of that, and once I saw what was possible with consistency and how you can actually build strength, even despite the fact that you're getting older, I was like, man, if I had started this when I was 20, I would be a beast right now. Because my abilities were obviously better when I was younger, my mobility, all of that stuff. I just hadn't done the training. So I would say on paper, factually, like the data would show I was much stronger when I was older, 30s and 40s, than I was when I was 20. But my potential for strength was obviously much more in my 20s. I just didn't harness it.
Right.
So I kind of wasted the ability that I would have had to be able to be stronger. And it's not really wasted because you can start at any point, and as long as you start, I think it's never wasted because you're still doing something that goes towards the longevity of your fitness. And so even as we say aging gracefully, there's certain aspects of what you do that can actually slow or reverse that aging process. So there's things I think we touched on before about how you can oxidize your cells through exercise that actually can reduce the likelihood of cancer, and certain cancers increase with likelihood purely based on age. And so that's kind of one of those things that can reverse the aging process. Same thing with building muscle that then protects your joints. So your joints will deplete, but if you're strong and you've got all that support, you're reversing that process.
And that's what I think we need to make note of is that every decade, like once we hit 40, every decade we lose, there's a percentage, 3 to 8%
of
muscle mass as we get older.
Terrifying.
And you can imagine that, especially for women, that once we hit menopause, we are more at risk for osteoporosis and all this, like, you know, bone degeneration and everything.
Right. That's right.
And so how do you think we're going to be able to protect our joints and our bodies is with when we have that muscle. Like, you got to think of it like cushioning, you know?
Literally, yeah. It's basically like when you have a building that's under construction, you have all the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Like as the building is, like, that's kind of what's holding.
The foundation.
Yeah,
almost.
from the outside, from the top. As
Yeah.
opposed to, yes, the foundation is there, that's your skeleton, that's your bone, that's how you've eaten and managed to generate your red blood cells to make your bones strong and your calcium. But then on the outside, you have to have something that sort of holds it up together. And that's your muscle, that's your strength training. It's so important, not just for that, but we could go on about it for days and days.
I want to go back to something that you said where you feel like you were stronger or had the potential to be stronger in your 20s. Do you believe that you can get to that point now and be even fitter and stronger in your 40s? Like, I see that all the time on, you know, my algorithm on Instagram is very much health, wellness, you know, fitness, like fitness coaches. Yeah. And because I'm also in my 40s, so it's very much focused on fitness instructors in their 40s and even 50s. And you see them like there are some grannies out there. Yeah, they look like super ripped, super fit, and they look healthier than they were in their 20s even. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you yourself as Lisa can get to that point point?
100%. So I think another misconception is that, okay, well, this point of my life has passed. I can only get to a certain stage. Now that I'm in my 40s, I can never be ripped. I can only just kind of be fit-ish and sort of work within the confines of what that means. Absolutely untrue, because what that mentality depends on is the fact that your metabolic age is the same as your calendar age. Mm-hmm. So there's people who are in their 30s who, based on the life that they've lived and the lifestyle they've chosen, their body is 50.
Yes.
And so the generation that their body
is faster.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're the same age as that person, but you've lived a healthy life, you have a background and basis of fit lifestyle, your metabolic age might be 19.
Yeah.
And so you're both 30, but what your body can do between 30 and 40 is very different. And so I think you have to take that into account. Also, genetics, gender, all of these different factors.
Yeah.
So there's no hard and fast rule. And I would just say, whatever you can safely push your body to do that and push a little further, because your mind is also being trained when you train your body. So you're getting better at withstanding and tolerating discomfort. Mm-hmm. You're getting better at motivating yourself. You're getting better at consistency and habit, because as we said last time, discipline is what comes when motivation goes away.
Yeah.
And so when you're training your brain to actually be disciplined, it gets better at it. So I would say that all of those factors will determine how fit you can get. But short answer is absolutely, I think you can be fitter. And you just talked about the evidence, at least the physical evidence, of people fitter in their 40s than they were in their 20s. So much of it is when you walk in and start that fitness journey is where your mind is. So if you've already limited yourself, your body will be like, okay, I'm never going to be able to do 100 pull-ups. So let me not try.
Yeah.
Whereas if you walk in and you say, damn, I know that 60-year-old granny who was a calisthenics expert and she was doing 100 pull-ups. Let me shoot for 100. You might gradually get to like 80, which is still more than the 50 that you limited yourself with before.
Yeah.
So I think how you speak to yourself at the start of the journey is really important as well, because that can determine the trajectory.
To touch on the mental aspect also, I feel like that's also probably why you are seeing a trend of these 40 and 50 and 60-year-old women who are, getting fit and are going on this, fitness journey, because I feel like they've also gone through a transformation. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say they seem fitter and healthier is because I feel like their mental and body have connected, whereas in your 20s, you'll be exercising, you're in the gym all the time, but up here you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I look in the mirror and I see something that I still don't like.
Right.
Whereas when you get to be our age and you actually you're on this journey where you want to feel better and kind of like embrace this new era, this new
encompassing.
You're mentally prepared for it, and you will take it in better than you would have in your 20s. You may not have the same body, but you will look at yourself and say, I feel strong, therefore I am strong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And also why I think when you asked me that question, when you said, do you think mentally you're stronger than you were in your 20s? Absolutely. Yeah. Because we even talked about it just now when I said, I'm not going to walk to the gym that's free. That's amazing.
The university gym. Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, I wasn't going to do it because I didn't have that mental wherewithal to be like, this
even
is
that discipline. Like you didn't have that.
It. I was like, I've got 40, 50 plus years to get in shape. It's whatever.
Oh, exactly.
Right? That's the attitude. So I have the rest of my life. And then now you're living that rest of your life and you're like, now is the time that I need to be doing this. And so like, when it's 4 degrees out, when it's raining out, when it's cold, when I have no energy, when I know I have to do 50 things just so I can make it to my class in the evening, guess what? I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Just so that I can go and get that 1 hour in.
Yeah.
And if I can't, I'm gonna make sure I do something else.
I love that.
And so that's something I didn't have even 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
When we were talking about
When
how
you were
I
first trying to get back into
right,
the gym.
and I was like, I'm not there yet. I can feel that I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And I remember I said, once I'm there, I'm in it. But it took me a while to get there because all of these other things were fighting that process, and I hadn't disciplined my mind. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's something that you're more likely to have with age than you had when you're in your 20s or when you're a bit younger. And that's something that is a very powerful thing to harness, because that's what's going to keep you going back.
Yeah.
Right. When we were just speaking earlier, we talked about just some of those other common misconceptions about fitness and your capabilities in your 40s or at that point in life. And so, we've talked about inability to reach sort of equal or surpass fitness from your 20s or when you were younger. And there's also, I think, and I'm totally guilty of that, the misconception of weight training and its effect. I think now people are a little bit more, as you said, a little bit more aware, a little bit more educated on the benefits of it than they were maybe when we were in our 20s.
It was all about cardio when we were younger.
100%.
Cardio.
Yeah, and if I
on the treadmill for an hour.
Exactly, and that's it. And if I lift a 10-kilo dumbbell, I'm turning into a man overnight.
Yeah.
Like that was the...
Oh yeah. Like, although, can I say, like, I always... like, even at a very young age, like, when I'd see women with muscles, like, I found it very nice, but I'd always
like
have...
the athletes.
Yes, the athletes, but I'd always have this voice in the background, like, from other women, maybe, like, in my circle or whoever, like, or even men. Oh, I don't like muscles on women. So that was always, like, such a deterrent for me to get too bulky. Although I always liked muscles. Like, I'm not saying I want to be, like,
like a bodybuilder.
Like a bodybuilder, but there are some people that do that, and
can still like maintain femininity, but as long as they're doing it healthily, I'm like do what you need.
Do what you need or do what you love.
I think it was such a pressure back then. Like I remember really, even though I kind of started a gym journey pre-Olympic lifting, pre-CrossFit, always being like, I'm not going to do more than this weight because I don't want to bulk up. I don't want, my shoulders are already pretty big. I don't want them to be bigger. I want to be strong, but I don't want to like look it, you know? And it was not even just a pressure that you could be conscious of. It was just the norm. Like you never thought that this is weird. You were just like, yeah, that's just fact.
Yeah.
And then
women don't lift as much, and women shouldn't be.
And they shouldn't, right? And then also there's the societal stuff where if you're too strong, like you're not gonna need a man. Like you're gonna be carrying your man into the house after the wedding. You know what I mean? Like that sort of shit where
I'm trying to picture you carrying Michael over the
easily
threshold, like. What is it? That's what it's called?
The threshold, right? Like that's exactly the image I had for so many years in my mind, especially when I started CrossFit, because it was still super, super, like stuck in my mind that I was like, oh my gosh, especially when you look at CrossFitters' physique, I was like, I'm gonna be that chick.
Sorry, I just pictured me carrying Khaled.
Oh my god, he's like twice your height.
My husband's like up here and I'm like down here, so I'm just picturing him.
But based on what you lift, you probably could. Like, you could probably deadlift him easy.
Do you know, side note, that women should be able to carry half of their weight for 1 minute easy?
You had a post about that.
I've been posting. I've seen it more than once. You should be able to do the farmer's lift.
Farmer's carry.
Farmer's carry.
On either side.
You should be able to have dumbbells on, or I guess you could also do it with a barbell and weights.
Yeah.
but you should be able to do that for 1 minute with half of your weight, no problem. And that means that by the time and this was fascinating, that by the time you're 80, you'll still be able to open a jar,
right?
Still be able to get up.
Yeah, on your own.
If you're able to do that now.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, I'm not even there. Like, I'm doing my 6 kilos, and I'm like,
you're doing that, but you're capable.
I think but I also have back problems. I think if someone were to hand them to me, when I'm already standing, I believe I could.
Yeah,
but I think to be in the squatted position and then to bring it up, I think that would be hard for me. I want to work up to it,
and you can. And I think even with the back being weaker,
I will.
You heard it here first.
I will.
And part of that is, just side note, because it's a deadlift essentially, and is that it's your legs that's going to bring it from here to here. And the reason that you feel it in your back is because our lifestyle and how we live has made us overcompensate wrongly. Yeah. And most of us use our back when we're picking something up from the ground, when you're picking up toys around the house. You're not going to be like
each time,
every time. You're not going to be in the grocery store like to get to the bottom, like you're just not going to do
Although because of my back issues, and I'm sure you're also like, you and I with our back issues, like I am squatting.
I would do a Cossack squat and be like, because.
And with my back up too, like, you know how they squat with your shoulders. It's not one of these like,
no, it's whatever the body can allow at that moment. But it's all like part and parcel of how we've trained our bodies to handle these everyday things and these functions. And so if you're actually, and I have the problem even now when I deadlift, I use my upper body too much.
Right.
And with every one of my lifts. And it's so much stronger when you kind of concentrate on engaging that lower body, these big, strong groups of muscles that exist for that reason. Yeah. These are like the things that carry you around. And when you harness that and you think about it and you engage with it in real life, it's all of that pressure that you're feeling, it actually just dissipates it. And then you're aware of it, like even when you walk, even when you go upstairs, you're aware of like activating your glutes and like your legs, especially if you're sore from a workout the day before. That's good because then your brain muscle connection is still there. Yeah. And so you'll feel it and you'll be like, oh, let me kind of still use my glutes as I go up these stairs. Totally different. Michael did I think I made him do a workout where he was using the resistance band to do hip thrusts because he has severe like back issues as well and knees. And I was like, this is something that's going to be a little bit easier as opposed to like, going to the gym right away. And he did these hip thrusts and he's like, oh, there's no weight. And I was like, do 20 then. Do 20 and I want you to pause at the top and I want you to do it really slow all the way down. At 5,
so the resistance band around the
thighs. Yeah, so I was like, keep it here. And then I put my hands on either side like this of his knees and I was like, don't push against my knees. Yeah. Keep that frame. At 5, he was already cursing me out. I was like, we ain't even halfway. And he felt it so much the next day. He said, when I was walking, I realized I have never felt those muscles.
Oh, wow.
In my life. I've never been aware of where that pain was. And I was like, that's a problem.
Oh, man.
And so I think like understanding the way your body works as well as, helps so much more because then you're like, oh, this is why this is beneficial. This is why doing this way makes me stronger for longer.
But that's why you have to have that. They always say like it's a mind-body connection.
Exactly.
And I also, I don't know how you feel about this, but and I have a friend who's a trainer in Jordan and she told me like she doesn't have any mirrors in her fitness studio. Mm-hmm. And I think CrossFit gyms don't do, because the idea is for you, like whenever you have a mirror in front of you, you're always staring at yourself to see if you're doing it right. But whereas if there's no mirrors around you, you then have to listen to your body.
That's right.
To see that, to feel that you're doing it properly. So I think that's why it's so important to really have that connection between the mind and the body.
I 100% agree with that. I think it's so much better to have the mirror not there. Yeah. Also because as human beings, there's this unhealthy habit that we have of not just looking at ourselves to like gauge our form, but just looking at ourselves. There's a mirror, there's a reflective building, you're walking. The tendency is to look. There's a reflective across the street, and sometimes I'll just stand at the window and watch people walk by. 100%.
Everyone's looking.
Yeah, some people will stop and be like,
oh man.
And keep going. I'm just like, all of us, like myself included, we're all guilty of that. And so I think that takes your focus off of
what you're there to do.
What you're there to do. I know in CrossFit, I think the reasoning behind it, I think they said this in our training course, they said that it's not there also because when you're lifting, you want to listen to the cues from your coach.
And not be distracted.
The only person who should be adhering to or paying attention to your form is the coach. Because then they can correct you. And then you feel it. You feel what is the correct form, as opposed to you lift like this, and you can't see both sides. Whereas the coach can walk around you, and they can see how you look from the back. They can see how you look from the side. So I fully agree with the reasoning. My problem is
she agrees. She wants the damn mirrors.
For lifting, for stuff like that, group fitness, I'm okay not having a mirror. But if I'm in a gym, I have to motivate myself, especially if there's cardio machines. This is probably not the most healthy thing either, but I'm going to admit to it.
Okay.
I need the mirror because I need to see how I look running to keep running.
Keep running?
Like, I need to be like, holy crap. This is how I look running.
Yeah.
We gotta increase that gradient.
Oh, you mean like if everything's jiggling?
Yeah, I'm just like, look at you.
But if it's jiggling, you'll feel it.
It never.
You don't need to see it.
It never feels as bad as it looks. It never. You're like, my titties are moving a little bit, whatever. And then you catch yourself in the mirror, and the mirror is like, honey, everything is jiggling. It's next level. Very unhealthy, by the way.
Oh my God.
But I'm just saying, don't be like me in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No judgment. No judgment.
Which is also why I haven't done cardio in a while.
Safe space here.
Like I have a mirror in my living room, and it's kind of angled where when I use the living room space here and I move the coffee table out to do the Tai Bo, I can kind of catch a few glimpses of myself. And it's the same thing. This is literally contemporary information from last week.
Okay.
You feel badass when you're doing like a punch kick combo.
Yeah.
You're like, I got it, da 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 da. You see yourself.
It's like,
first of all, when did I start punching like this? What is this? I was like, I am not that person. At one point, like my thumb, like, what? I was like, oh my God. Stop. And I was like, oh my God. And I corrected that stuff. So in that regard, I was like, this was helpful. But also I was like, my self-esteem fell apart to pieces. It's still somewhere all over the floor.
Okay.
But yeah, it never feels how it looks.
Okay.
Whew. But yeah.
Man.
But really important to also respect that process. So we talked about, getting your mind in the right place, in the right frame.
Yeah.
And that mind-body connection, which is part of also having body awareness.
Yeah.
So when you look at dancers, when you look at gymnasts.
Sorry, I need a tissue.
Oh, we can pause. One moment.
You're talking about dancers?
Yeah, so as I was saying, so you have like dancers, gymnasts, people who started these sort of activities, especially stuff that you start when you're like 3-4 years old. Yeah. And you get to ideally develop a sense of body awareness. So, when your arm is doing this, you're still aware of like what the rest of your body is doing. You still have this, your brain-body connection is quite strong. So your control of your body, ballet especially is one of these. Your control of your body is really quite superior to someone who's done nothing like that. Especially if you've done it during a period of time when you're growing, when you're brain is developing, when your body is developing, it just kind of trains your brain to be like, this is how I move. And so you can apply that to different aspects of fitness as well. So you find, like, especially with Olympic lifters, most of the ones that are really good at it are people who have a gymnastics background.
Right.
Because there's just an awareness and obviously a freakish strength that comes with that.
Yeah.
But, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is another one that's really great about understanding where your body is and being able to sort of control and use strength in a really effective way. And so even if you haven't developed that as a child or as a teen or whatever, and you're just starting to sort of try and get this mind-body connection in your 40s, it's never too late, because your brain, as we said as well in a previous episode, it just wants to make your life better. Having that body awareness can still also be learned in adulthood. So this idea that, oh, well, I'm too old to start. I should have started when I was younger. I'll never get to where I need to be yet because I'm too old, is kind of a crock of shit. You're alive.
It's never too late.
Yeah, you're alive. So that means you have an ability to start and still get somewhere.
Yeah.
As opposed to just giving up. And
we should also, remind you, and it's something that we have to remind ourselves too, is that, like, if you do want to be fitter and say, whether it's you're in your 40s and your body has started to change, or you've had kids, or whatever it is, that's held you back from working out consistently. Like, there are no quick fixes. It's not going to happen overnight. And in our 40s, like, ladies, honest to God, our body changes. Like, you need to keep that in mind. It's not going to be the same. And we shouldn't be striving to have that same body that we had when we were in our 20s. I still think that we can, or 30s, I still think we can have super, super, like, nice bodies that we're proud of, but it could be different for every person. And it's not going to happen. Yeah, exactly. And it's not going to happen overnight. So this is where, Lisa's mentioned it over and over again, like, discipline. Like, you want to work out, it's not meant to be what you said, not
like
to
a quick fix,
not
like
to lose,
right, like for this is my goal,
weight.
I want to get to 65 kilos.
No,
the end.
The idea is working out should be a part of your lifestyle. Just like you're breathing, you're sleeping, you're brushing your teeth, you're just taking the trash out, just like that. Like, exercise should be ingrained, and it should almost be like a given. Like,
yes,
that's what you
a
need
non-negotiable.
A non-negotiable.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to make time for it, because for everything else, and there's a lot of trivial things that we do in life that we make time for, this is one of the ones that probably should fall in a list of the non-negotiables.
Yeah.
And just, if you want to find an excuse, you will always have an excuse.
Always.
I made excuses for the better part of 2 years.
Yeah.
So you can always find an excuse, and at the same token, you can always find the time.
Let's also debunk this whole idea that, like, the type of workout has to be like a full, 90 minutes sweat session for it to be like a legit workout.
Right. Like, you have to be sort of covered in sweat.
Yeah.
And, funny you would mention that, because a few weeks ago I saw a video of the algorithm being what it is, of a bunch of bodybuilders, strong looking guys, like guys who were pushing crazy weight in the gym, attempting a reformer Pilates class.
Ooh, I need to see this.
I have to find it. I'll send it to you. And the stereotype. Reformer Pilates in general, skinny, like, suburban moms doing this whole, like, I want to stay lithe and elongated muscles and skinny, and I would never lift up a weight. Now, two things. First of all, Pilates is no joke.
No joke.
Like, really, before you even have an opinion about it, try one class with a good instructor.
Yeah.
Just mat Pilates, just mat. Reformer is a different beast. The reformer, a lot of people say it looks like a torture contraption. Legit. Legit. It does, because it is. It is. Now, the main attribute of the reformer is essentially you have a whole range of movements that you can incorporate through the pulleys and the strings, and then and all of that, whips and chains, and you have the springs, which represent different weight resistance.
Yeah.
So you have halves, you have full, you have whatever. Not a lot. I think it's 5 springs in total. So I think moving from strength and not strength training, what's it called? Bodybuilding to something like this, first of all, you don't use momentum. There's nothing that you can sort of say, you know, you have to be controlled. You have to always have a core turned on, because stability is so important when you're doing some of these movements to hold yourself in balance. You literally fall off the damn thing.
Yeah.
Guilty. If you don't have that stability, body awareness, what we spoke about. So reformer Pilates being what it is, and bodybuilding being what it is, you can't necessarily say, oh, one's way better than the other, because it's still great to be strong. It's still great to be able to lift all this stuff. It's still movement of some kind. And then you have your reformer Pilates that's giving you stability, body awareness, balance, all things that when you put them together, you have a holistic skill set that now pushes you forward and closer to whatever your goal is. And so that is, I guess, essentially to point out that there's not really one right way to train. You train to, or you work out, you move. Right? I'd rather say move to strengthen your weaknesses. You move to maximize your mobility, your endurance, your stamina, your mental capacity at dealing with adversity or stress. Mm-hmm. All of these things can be attributed, or I guess garnered, from different types of training. And so not only one way works for everyone. So certainly saying, oh, I have to have sweat pouring down, I have to do F45, I have to do at least 30 minutes, I have to do it this way, or I haven't trained, is not necessarily the go. In fact, not at all. You can go to a class where you're sweating simply because it's 30 degrees outside and you're standing in a hot room. So that shouldn't be a measure of it. Something that you can look back and say, I've gotten stronger, I've gotten fitter, I've gotten more mobile, I've gotten, my heart doesn't beat outside of my chest when I walk upstairs. That was me yesterday, by the way. Those are the measures that are actually data-driven, that will give you the knowledge to be able to track that things are actually working for you. And where it's not, switch it up. Be open-minded to the fact that there's different types of fitness and different ways to get your body where it needs to be.
I love that you mentioned that holistic approach. Mm-hmm. And so I think also, like, for movement and for this idea of showing up to the mat, for it not to get so mundane. And so, like, I think that's also, you know, a good idea for you to plan your week out and say, okay, every Monday I do a cardio day, and 3 to 4 times a week I'll make sure I do strength training. That's right. One time a week I focus solely on stretching and, you know, showing up to the mat just to, like, you know, for flexibility and all of that. Mm-hmm. And then maybe even another time, like, you can include it as if you're willing to do it, like more of a meditative yoga, you know, and like, just like you said, like, it is, it's a mind, body, it's a mental game, it's a physical game, it's all of that. And so if you can do that and just kind of like have these different varieties to your workout routine, I think that also helps with the consistency, discipline.
Absolutely. And a routine, having a routine that you can say, okay, you know what, I committed to 3 days of this a week. Exactly. So that you can kind of have something that you point to, and it gives you accountability. Yeah.
Allowing your body also to move in different ways. Like, some people think, let me just do 100 abs. Yeah. And I'll get my 6-pack and that's it, you know? But like, you need several different, we know anyway that abs.
I was gonna say, also, crunches, like crunches is not going to give you,
like Jane Fonda, like 90s kind of.
Jane will tell you herself, she probably never had a 6-pack.
I don't do crunches anymore.
Yeah, she never had a flat belly, but like, nah, like, if you're wanting that that strong sort of six-pack, like you need to do movements sort of almost transiently.
Yeah.
Like you don't actually crunch on the ab, but you know, you do your
transfers
L-sits
and the transverse abdominal muscles.
That's it.
Which are these side, you know, muscles.
And your abs literally is just a factor of having little to no fat, basically. I mean, visible abs in a six-pack is having very little or low body fat content. And for some people that never happens, and it might be genetic things. Some people are more genetically disposed to having visible abs.
Right.
But I remember when I had, and this is also something that lends itself to age as well as to pre-post pregnancy, because I know a lot of these misconceptions about what your body is capable of also attached to, oh, I won't be able to do this after I'm pregnant. The first thing everyone told me after I got pregnant the first time was, oh my God, like you'll never have a flat stomach again. You will never be able to get abs after I had the baby. Oh my goodness, you had a C-section. You will never be able to have any ab stability ever again. My abs were not only more visible, stronger, but actually, like, I mean, they are the craziest they've ever been after I gave birth via C-section. So again, there's always going to be someone that limits you. Having said that, that six-pack that I had was in no way, shape, or form attributable to crunches. I think I went a good 2 years without ever having done a crunch. I was doing a lot of sitting. Yeah, I was doing planking, side planks, but just a lot of lifting where I used my abdominal and core stability transiently through Olympic lifting. Olympic lifting, if you do, for example, practice snatches every day for 2 weeks, I guarantee you, your abs will look different. Yeah. Like, and that is not an ab exercise. You'll feel it everywhere. But the effects of it will be visible. So we've talked about the crunches. And the second thing that's wrong with that is you can't spot train. You can't spot lose. You can't say, oh, you know what? I want like my ass and my hips and thighs to stay the same. But trust me, I wish we all could. That would be, my life would be very different.
That'd be very interesting if we could do that.
And I want, well, there's doctors that do it, but you're not going to definitely find that without slicing yourself up. And, you know, I want my waist to be smaller and I want like everything else to stay the same. It's not going to happen. You want abs. We talked about fat, body fat percentage. If you're losing body fat on your abs, guess what? You're going to lose it on your ass. You're going to lose it on your hips. You're going to lose it on your arms. You're going to lose it on your face. So understanding your body, understanding realistic abilities or realistic goals of what the ability of your body is, but also realistic in terms of have a loftier goal. Like, yes, you have a six-pack. Okay. What after that? All right. So you've inundated your Instagram page with all of the ab photos from all different angles. You spent a whole summer wearing little
crop tops.
There you go. You got all the steroids you wanted in your bikini at the beach. What now?
What's next?
What's next? So,
and which is why we go back to like when you said it, like your overall goal should not be aesthetics, but more about feeling good and, you know, setting your body up for longevity, for a healthier life in your 70s, in your 80s, you know.
Being around for your kids and your grandkids. Being able to
your
pick them up.
families, you know, just, it's, I think that's like that's the end game, you know.
And aesthetics, if you're doing that, if you're doing the end game right with regards to being fit.
It'll come. The aesthetics will come.
It will come.
There should be no excuses. Don't use work as an excuse. Don't use family, no time, no none of that. Like there are no excuses.
That's it.
So I think with that we can wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. We'll step off our soapbox now. I
hope you got a few takeaways from that.
That yes, your body is getting older, but you have control about how fast it ages, and also about how strong it can still be.
Yeah.
And you're not limited by that calendar.
Yeah.
You're limited only by yourself.
Exactly. So
on that note,
till next Friday. Happy Flex Friday.
Bye guys.